चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. So welcome to the Sri Harinam Chintamani series every Saturday and Sunday morning. Yesterday was a Saturday, but still we could not have it because I forgot that it was a Saturday and we could not send the message, nor I was keeping well. So we skipped yesterday's class. So we will continue with our discussion, what we have been having till now. We saw how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur firstly devotes an entire chapter on inattention, and specifically Haridas Thakur is speaking. He speaks about, firstly, there is pramad. Pramad is inattention, and inattention while chanting the holy name. And in few instructions from 2 to 5, Haridas Thakur speaks that, O Lord, you have instructed Sanatan and Gopal Bhatta Goswami that one should be not attentive in their service. And this inattention is called as pramad. So he defines pramad. And then what is the root meaning of pramad? And the three kinds of pramad: Audasina, Jada, Vikshep. And in the last class, we saw this session 8 to 10 that even if by good faith, by great fortune, one gets the beej of Shraddha, takes up to chanting, but he should chant his rounds very, very carefully, and then attraction will arise. And as long as one doesn't have attraction, one should be very, very careful in his chanting. So this was the discussion we had in the last class, if you remember. We went through the 5 states of the mind, the different postures for attentive listening and chanting, the opening and the closing of the doors, how the chanting should reach the heart. And we discussed this, that one should carefully chant as long as one has not developed anurag. And in this context, carefully chanting, we saw text 7 and text 8, especially text 7, Kintu Adarat Anudinam Kalu Saiva Jushtat. And then how by chanting very attentively, we remove the anarthas from the heart. And the mind, acts based on what it thinks. And there is action and reaction. In that context, we discuss 4.18 to 4.24. So one should exclusively do the actions of chanting for the pleasure of Krishna, so that one can fully get the access the potency of the holy name. So now the next theme Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to speak is this is from text 11 to text 15. Text 11 to text 15, he says the theme is the aspiring devotee should carefully make his mind steady. So this is the theme he is going to speak. Nisargata loka sab vishaya asakta smriti kale vishaya antare anurakta. Everyone is naturally attracted to material sense objects. Nisargata. Nisargata means those who are in this material world. Loka, Sabha, Vishaya Asakta. They are attached to sense gratification or sense objects. When one remembers them, Smriti Kale, one becomes attracted to sense objects. Vishaya Antare Anurakta. So we are attracted to sense objects, and even if we close our eyes and we remember, oh, I ate that ice cream there. So in our heart, the sense impressions of enjoying sense objects are there, and we become attracted. Oh, let us now go and have an ice cream. So this is how deeply we are attracted to these sense objects. Now it is a very interesting paradox, sorry, not a paradox, irony Gajendra makes in his prayers to the Lord. O Lord, you have done two wrong things in this world. One is that you have given sense objects in this material world. So if there were no sense objects, then the jiva would not be attracted to sense objects. So you have given sense objects. So this is one fault of yours, that you have given sense objects in this world where the jiva becomes attracted to sense objects. The second thing he says, that you have given this mind which desires sense objects. So it is the mind which wants to enjoy sense objects, and that is why it propels the intelligence, and then the soul engages in sense gratification. So two things. One is the external sense objects are present, and internally there are desires. If there were desires in the mind, but no sense objects externally present, then we could not do anything about it. Or on the other hand, if there were sense objects, but no desires in the mind, it is for the case of the pure devotees, then also there is no problem. But you also have given desires, unlimited desires in the jiva. The mind can desire unlimitedly. So like that, this is how the jiva is entangled. So this predicament is brought out in this verse of Sri Harinam Chintamani in text 11. Ruchiyaya anyastane name udasina name chitta magna nahi jape pratidina. if one is attracted to other things and is indifferent to the holy name, ruchi aya anyastana, you have taste for sense objects, and that is why name udasina, you are indifferent to the holy name. Name chitta magna, if such a person chants japa every day, jape pratidina, his heart will not be absorbed in the holy name. So we have attraction to the things of this world. We are not still Maya Sakta Manapartha, as Krishna tells in 7.1 of the Bhagavad Gita. We are asat to our home, family, our country, our possessions, so many attachments we have. And because we have attraction to these things, we are indifferent to the holy name. And even if you chant, what happens? The heart is not absorbed in the holy name. So now he gives the predicament more in detail in text 13. Chitta ekadike ara anya dike nam tahara mangala kishe oya gunadham. His thoughts will be in one direction and the holy name will be in another direction. Chitta ekadike. The heart is attracted in one direction, material senses, enjoyment, and Anya Dikenam, the mind is, or the holy name is in another direction. How can a person attain auspiciousness? Tahar Mangala Kishe, that is the abode of all that is good. Hoya Gunadham, the holy name is the abode of all good fortune. But what to do? The heart is attracted in one direction and the holy name is going in another direction. So this is the predicament what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is bringing out further. Now, another interesting form Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to drop. Lakshanama hoile purna sankhya mala gani hridaya nahila rasa bindu gunamani. Even though he chants a lakh, Lakshanam hoila purna, that is 64 rounds or 1 lakh names of the holy names on the beads, Malagani, not a drop of taste for the precious jewel like holy name will be produced in their hearts. Hridaya Nahila Rasa Bindu Gunamani. So the Gunamani is the precious jewel of the holy name. It will not produce only, not even a drop of nectar, a drop of taste, Rasa Bindu, it's not produced. So one of the questions many devotees ask is that should we try to increase our rounds? We are chanting 16 rounds, and especially this is Kartik month. Many devotees want to increase their devotional service and they would like to chant more rounds. Is it recommended to chant after the prescribed number of rounds, which is given 16, whether to increase the rounds to 20 or 24 or 32 or 40 rounds, whatever it is it recommended to increase the rounds? What is your thoughts about it? Anyone like to say about it? What do you think? Yes, Maya Narasimha Prabhuji.
I think
Yes,
we should, Prabhuji, as you said, other class,
just a minute.
that
Let me increase the audio from my side. Yes, yes. Can you?
as you said last time, Prabhuji, that more than quantity, quality is most important. And along with quality, if you can increase quantity, that is the best. So the focus
Yes,
should be on the quality.
yes. So best is to focus on the quality. Best is to focus on the quality and not on the quantity. But of course, we should, chant our 16 rounds, which is very important. And slowly, when we chant carefully, being very attentive in our chanting, then we will be able to slowly experience some taste. And with the increase of the taste, one should also increase the number of rounds. So when we increase the number of rounds according to the taste, then both are very uh, conducive. You can say conducive. Now, I would like to show a quote uh, from one of the conversations about quality chanting, what Srila Prabhupada has to say. Now, this is from one of the morning walks. Brahmanand, we all know Brahmanand. The quality of the chanting, he's asking, how can we make the quality the best? Now, Prabhupada, quality, you will understand first of all, come the quality. Without having quality, how will he understand the quality? You follow the instructions of the spiritual master of the Shastra. That is your duty. Quality, no quality. It is not your position to understand. When the quality comes, there is no force. There is natural taste. So naturally you're inclined. You will have taste for chanting. You will desire at that time, why 16 round? Why not 16,000 rounds? So this is what Prabhupada is saying in his morning walk. When the quality comes, the taste comes, why 16 rounds? Why not 16,000 rounds? That is quality. So once you finish your 16 rounds sitting in one session, and then you feel, let me sit and chant another 16 rounds, then you can say that you have taste for chanting. That is quality. It is not by force. You will not do it. Therefore, at least 16 rounds. So whether you like it, not like it, you don't have taste, I am chanting because it is the instruction of my spiritual master. But when you come to quality, you will feel yourself, why 16? Why not 16,000? That is quality automatically. So very concise and precise is Prabhupada's answer here about the quality of chanting. So many devotees, this is my observation, they try to increase the rounds. There can be many reasons. One is to show that they are chanting more number of rounds. But we have to see whether in that increased rounds they are able to focusly and attentively chant and whether they are getting taste. So if you artificially try to increase your rounds, it can be very counterproductive. It can be counterproductive. Or you might just try to show to others that how I am more advanced and I'm chanting more number of rounds. So if these kind of intentions are there and you don't have the taste, then it will not help. That is why we have to have this first thumb rule is 16 rounds and attentively, carefully, and slowly the taste will start coming in. Then you can progressively increase your rounds. So this is the most important principle. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, even if you chant 1 lakh names, not a drop of taste you will get. Eite anavadhan doshera prakar vishaya ridhiya prabhu bada durnirvar. Oh Lord, in this kind of inattention, it is very difficult to stop the heart from being attracted to material sense objects. So this is because of inattention, anavadhan, the fault, and vishaya ridhi, the heart is attracted to still sense objects. And Prabhu, oh Lord, Pada Durnirvar. This is very difficult to stop. So this is the predicament Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning. So now let us look at some of the important points regarding what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has discussed in this session. Now here I'm giving one principle. What is the principle or the sutra? When you chant, chant. So what does this mean? Anyone can raise their hand and answer. What does it mean? When you chant, chant. Please think carefully. Yes, Prem.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Prabhu, it means not to multitask.
Yes. What else it means? You're right.
To just hear, as you
Yes.
chant rather than anything
Yes.
else.
You don't attend to anything else except you and your relationship with the holy name. That's it. Nothing else. You don't take care of anything else. So if you can remember this sutra, this principle, that when you chant, chant. When you chant, you don't make a call. When you chant, you don't do talking. So all these other things you avoid and you follow this one principle, then you can chant attentively and slowly, slowly increase your quality in your chanting. The most foundational principle of good japa, the Paribhashya Sutra of japa, is to turn off your life when you chant and do nothing else but chant. Nothing else you should do. Nothing else. Chanting is worship of Radha and Krishna. Therefore, we must be fully present in their world when we chant. So what is chanting? We have to have a clear philosophical understanding. It is directly worship of Radha and Krishna. And we should be fully present in that worship, and we should be in their world when we are chanting. The more we are able to be present with our japa, the better our chanting will be. Inattentive chanting results from not honoring japa as a sacred relationship that deserves our full attention, and participating and thus not making the sankalpa before chanting to be fully present with the holy name. So making a sankalpa that when I chant and I don't do anything else. If we don't make this sankalpa and begin our chanting, then we will attend to so many other things. And that means we are inattentive our worship of Radha and Krishna, and that itself is an offense. Without making this sankalpa, we fight a losing battle with the mind and often end up doing courtesy japa. So you know what is a courtesy japa. So it's very important if this one principle in chanting, if we can implement, it will make a lot of difference in our japa. That's why when we are sitting and chanting, keep all things aside, especially your mobile phone, all your relationships in this world, and enter into the relationship between Radha and Krishna through the holy names. Now, in the life of Narottam Das Thakur, we know how exalted and advanced he was. He was an eternal associate of Mahaprabhu, and he was directed by Lord himself, Mahaprabhu himself, to go and take initiation from Loknath Goswami. There, Mahaprabhu appeared in the dream of Loknath Goswami and told that you should give initiation to Narottam Das Thakur. But as Narottam Das Thakur entered Braj and met his spiritual master tested him for 1 year to see whether the disciple is qualified. So for that 1 year, Narottam Das Thakur was menially serving his Shiksha Guru Jiva Goswami and taking instructions. He was chanting 2 lakh names, and he was doing a menial service of cleaning the area where Loknath Goswami is to answer nature's call. Being pleased with this service, Loknath Goswami at last decided to initiate Narottam Das Thakur. Once, both the spiritual master and the disciple were chanting on the bank of Govind Kund. You know, Govind Kund is there in Govardhan. So when both were absorbed in chanting, a Brajbasi came and he wanted somebody to give him water to wash his hands. So Narottam Das Thakur left his chanting and went to attend the Brajbasi to do seva only. And he gave him water and then came back to again sit and chant. Immediately, Loknath Goswami chastised him. He said, "You are not qualified to stay in Braj. Please get out of here." Narottam Das Thakur was shocked. What happened? He said, "How can you leave the service of Radha and Krishna and attend to any other service?" In fact, that service of serving another Brajvasi was also service. But here was a higher service in the form of worship of Radha and Krishna through the holy names. So among these two services, this was a superior service. So he had to, at times, give up the inferior service. So Loknath Goswami had a point to make, that chanting is directly the service of Radha and Krishna, and we should be fully present when we are chanting and not attend to any other service. All services are important, but we'll have to decide which is the central service. And chanting is the most important service to directly Radha and Krishna, even more than deity worship. In fact, deity worship is meant for those who, especially in Kali Yuga, to calm and steady the mind so that ultimately we can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this is a very important sutra to counteract what Bhaktivinoda Thakur has discussed in this session. Now let us, okay, this is the last point. By making this sankalpa, the mind quiets down. Now let us take few points and explanation of this theme. An aspiring devotee should carefully make his mind steady. In this text, we are shown the negative aspects of chanting inattentively. So what are the negative aspects of chanting inattentively have been mentioned? So many lifetimes has the mind been engrossed in material activities. In so many varieties of species has the mind been making plans for enjoyment. So the chitta is filled with unlimited impressions of sense enjoyment from different species of life, and different species have different levels of enjoyment. So how to stop this madness is the indication of this verse or this theme of verses. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving the answer in this verse also. In the last line he states, "It is difficult to restrain the heart of the materialist from such offenses." So it is very, very difficult, Durnivara, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, for the Vishaya Riddhi, for the materialistic heart to be attracted to the holy name, because the heart is attracted to sense objects. So the answer is become a spiritualist, become a Krishna Bhakta, man mana bhava mad bhakto. Krishna says, just become my devotee, worship me and offer homage to me. So the mind has to think about Krishna. The mind has to, I am a Krishna Bhakta, to offer obeisances. This is sadhana. In this way, one is here cautioned about material thoughts and guided by use of words to become a devotee and not a materialist. Vishay means a materialist. So here we might be a spiritualist in the sense that we are having tilak, we are having kantimala, we are having beads in our hand. Oh, he is a devotee. He is a spiritualist. But what about our thoughts? What about our thoughts? In our thoughts, are we spiritualist? That is the deeper question which is being asked. Are we matchitta matgata prana, bodayanta parasparam, kataschanti mam nityam, dushyanti charamanti cha? Matchitta matgata prana, Prabhupada translates that the thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. Krishna is saying the thoughts are completely, they take residence in only Krishna, and that's why they only discuss about Krishna, matchitta, because in their heart, chitta is again the heart, Krishna is residing. So the object of love is always the talk, bodhayanta parasparam. So we are always talking about Krishna because Krishna is residing in our heart. If we are talking about sense gratification, that means we have love for sense gratification. And that's why these sense impressions are there in the chitta. And that's why the mind has thoughts about sense gratification. The materialistic thoughts are there. So this is how we should carefully evaluate our internal thoughts, because ultimately becoming a Vaishnava is not something external, it is also internal. How the intelligence and the mind has to become purified. Internally, our heart should be filled with essence of Vaishnavism. The mind of materialist is naturally attached to material things, and the mind of a devotee is naturally attached to Krishna. So this was also mentioned in that verse. Vishaya asakta chitta, and it is not asakta to Krishna, maya sakta mana partha. So one of the most important things, how we should make our mind attached to Krishna, the most important thing is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra attentively, first thing. Secondly, we should fill our thoughts with Krishna by regularly reading Srila Prabhupada books. The more we fill the mind and the intelligence with spiritual substances like Srila Prabhupada books, the deities, darshan, the chanting of the holy name, the more the mind will get spiritualized and become attached and attracted to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada once said that my devotees, they are very good in all kinds of services, be it book distribution, deity worship, Harinam Sankirtan. But one complaint Srila Prabhupada had, that my devotees don't read my books. So the more we study Srila Prabhupada books, the more the thoughts will become spiritualized and we will think about Krishna all the time. And that's how we can become naturally attached to Krishna. Especially Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita are principal books of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy which Srila Prabhupada has given. We should regularly read them so that the mind becomes attached to Krishna. In this instance, faith is the key, and faith may be nourished by sadhu sang and attentive chanting in the association of devotees. So we should have faith, and that faith is nourished in sadhu sang, shraddha sadhu sang, and bhajan kriya. And the bhajan also should be done in the association of devotees. Please do not think that you have come to a spiritual movement or take up residence in a holy dham such as Sri Mayapur or Sri Vrindavan Dham and bring with you all your material conceptions of life. You don't think that you can come to a spiritual movement or to the spiritual dham with all your material junk which is there in your mind. This simply will not do. You will be known as a Dharma Dwaji. It is Dharma Dwaji, not Dharma Dwaji. It is Dharma Dwaji, sorry. You will be Dharma Dwaja. You are carrying the flag of Dharma, but internally in your heart, you have a lot of material thoughts or material sense gratification. One who is hypocritically devout. One who simply lives on the surface of the dham, but never enters into it. So you might be in the dham, but are you in the spirit of the dham? You might enter the dham, but what is your consciousness? You might be only on the surface of the dham. Why? The reason is because the dham is Chintamani. The dham is also Chintamani. The holy name is also Chintamani. It is 100% spiritual and without a tinge of material contamination. Chintamani means to fulfill one's spiritual desires, not material. So this dham, the holy dham or the holy name is completely Chintamani. It is 100% spiritual. So as long as we have traces of material desires in our heart, we are still not accessing the full potency of the holy name, and we have not still entered into the dham. That is why Narottam Das Thakur in his bhajan says, Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dhama. Divya Chintamani Dhama. So now let us go to the next theme. The next theme in the next few verses. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, after explaining this predicament in verses 11 to 15, he gives the solution in verse 16 onwards. 16, 17, 18, and 19. He gives the solution to this problem, what he has expressed in the previous section. Any questions, any clarification anyone has up till now? Anyone has any clarification? Okay, so then let us now be attentive to this, because here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to give solutions how we can chant attentively. What is the process of careful chanting? Yatna karibar vidhi. Sadhu sange swalpakale chadiya vishay nirjana laila nama ei dosha shoy. By associating with devotees, sadhu sange, one quickly becomes free from material desires. Salpakale chadiya vishaya, you become free from material desires. Once the thought of material desires is destroyed, one may then chant the holy name in a secluded place. Okay, there is a question, how to fix our mind on Krishna. We have been discussing that section only now, so it will come up now. Kindly hold on, it will come up. So the thoughts naturally flow towards, or the senses naturally flow towards sense objects, and the mind is naturally attracted to that, and that's why the thoughts are material. So here is a solution given, associate with sadhus. And coming in the association of sadhus, the sadhus' hearts or chitta are pure. And when we come in that association, their heart reflects, just like a Vaidurya Mani. Any object comes in front of it, say it is a red object, a rose, so the Vaidurya Mani will start reflecting red. Similarly, the heart of the sadhus is pure, especially the Mahabhagavats. So when we come in their association, our heart also becomes purified. Darshane pavitra karo, ei tumhara gun. Just by our darshan, we become purified. So then the material desires subside. The material thoughts are destroyed. And then one should chant in a secluded place. Now, I will be discussing this concept of secluded place. Let us first see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's definition of secluded place. At first, one may chant in this way for a half hour, beginning his chanting of the holy name in a secluded place in the association of devotees. So here is making it very clear. What is a secluded place? Secluded place means in the association of devotees. Seeing the devotee's saintly nature, one gradually acts as they do. So we, in the association of saints and chant, we see how they are absorbed in the chanting of the holy name, and we also try to act in their way. In this way, one abandons his indifference and desires to engage in devotional service. So he abandons indifference and desires to engage in devotional service. So now let us come to this concept of secluded place. Now, here in the slides, I have brought out this very important principle. Sacred space. Chant in your japa house, not in your house. Now, what is a japa house? The japa house is especially the temple, where especially in the morning, devotees assemble and chant. There are fixed number of rounds. This is the japa house. And what is your house? Your house is the house where you have to take care of your family needs, you have to take care of your children education, the to-do things, the immediate requirements of the family, that I have to go and shop, I have to maintain the house, clean the house. That is your house, where thoughts are absorbed about to-do things about your house. But the japa house is where we simply get tuned into the holy name. That is the japa house. And the best place is the temple. So at least once a week, a devotee should make a point that they should come to the temple and chant, because remaining days, at least they can be absorbed in that same mood. And especially in your own house, you should create a japa house, a small place where you have tulsi, where you have the pictures of the deity, where you go there and you can get tuned into the holy name. Especially a businessman, when he goes to his office and sits on his chair, immediately the thoughts, oh, today after this meeting, today I have to have this business discussion, and I have to, all these thoughts come moment he sits in his office and moment he sits in his chair. Similarly, a devotee, when he goes to his house, the thoughts of his house, oh, I have to take care of this maintenance, I have to pay the salary of the servant, I have to go and get groceries, all these thoughts come. So with these thoughts, if you sit at your home and chant, you are not chanting in japa house, you are chanting in your house. So that is why even in your house, you have to create a japa house. Your house is the place where your life exists, the place where you are absorbed in thoughts of you, your work, your fears, your bodily planes, your to-do list, etc. Your japa house is figuratively the place away from your house, your life. It is a place devoted entirely to japa, to going out of your world and into Krishna's world. So this japa house can be a figurative thing. Figurative means you can have it as a visualization, where you can visualize that maybe I am now sitting and chanting in Govind Kund or in Ter Kadam. Also, this sacred space is an internal space in the heart where devotees might be, when they visit the dham, they are attracted to especially Ter Kadam, or they might be attracted to sit on the bank of Govardhan or on the foothills of Govardhan. So this is a figurative sacred space you have to create within your heart. But sacred space also has to be an external environment you'll have to create. As I was mentioning, in your house, a small room where you do only one activity, that is chanting, nothing else. You have tulsi, you have beautiful pictures of Radha and Krishna there, and you can shut that place completely and sit and chant. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to give further confidential secrets about his own bhajan. In fact, if you visit in Godrum Deep, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, it is on the first floor, and he has his bedroom, but he has a small narrow room with thick walls where he used to sit and do his japa. So this is, this japa house is very, very important for sadhakas, especially those who are staying at home and practicing their spiritual life practices. It is the place where you can fully honor your sacred relationship with him while chanting. Sacred space is both a physical space where you chant, what you look at when you chant, and an internal space where you go internally when you chant. So I mentioned this point about sacred space. It is an external space you have to create, physical space, and even an internal space in your heart. Like when your very dear friend comes, you have a special place for him in the heart. So you will take him in your house within the dining room and you'll have dinner with him because you have a special space for him in your heart. Similarly, we have to have the most special space for Krishna in our heart, and both an internal space and an external space has to be created for chanting. So this sacred space concept is very, very important if we want to do attentive chanting. Now, I remember many years back, one of my devotee friend, he used to chant on a terrace in a particular place. And he used to be absorbed in chanting there in that space. And I remember once I visited the terrace, and when I went there, immediately thoughts about Krishna immediately started flowing towards me. And I could understand that that space where he was chanting, that space had become spiritualized. And I could tune into the holy name there. So it is always recommended that this physical space should be one space where you always enter and do that same activity. It's not that you keep on changing these places. Because as you do your chanting in this physical space, the whole space is getting spiritualized. And the more you go there, the more you'll get tuned to chanting the holy names. So this is the secluded place for us. Secluded space, place is chanting in the association of devotees in the japa house, especially the temple during the morning hours. Any questions or clarifications regarding this concept of sacred space? Anyone has? How do you identify a person as sadhu? I mean, internally, the person is a sadhu. Now, yes, there can be different levels of who is a sadhu, but generally, Krishna Bhakta sadhu. Krishna Bhakta, he is a sadhu. Now, he's a Vaishnava. And sadhus, again, I told you there are Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. They are neophytes, they are beginning their spiritual life. Somebody is average, he's on the intermediate level, he has practiced bhajan for many years, he's also sadhu. But somebody who's very, very advanced in spiritual life and attained very high platforms of Krishna consciousness, he is a pure devotee. And his association, if we can get, especially while chanting, that is the most recommended. And especially such sadhu sang we get, especially when we go to yatras. In the yatras, we should maximize this benefit we have, that these pure devotees, the sannyasis who give katha, we should hear their katha, staying very close to them and hearing very attentively. And in their association also, we should chant. In their association, we should chant. Otherwise, if such great devotees or Mahabhagavats association is not available, then those who are very sincere in their practice, those who have been very dedicated and committed in their practices, in their association, their sadhu sang, we should try to have uh, a pact that let us together, do this activity. Let us have this monitoring. Let us be accountable, spiritual accountability, that we regularly come and chant, and that is also a sadhu sang. So now the next question is by Dr. Archana. If I'm alone doing japa at home, my doorbell rings and I have to discontinue with my japa. Should I restart my japa or continue from left? Continue it from the left number. Now, it's very important principle. We'll have to remember that when we are doing our japa, as the important sutra is when you chant. It is important that we see that we go in a zone or in a space where there are no distractions for us so that we can attentively chant. This is first important thing. Then, if there is something to be attended, see that there is someone else to attend to that. Make sure that. And now, as in this case, if I'm alone, if somebody is ringing the bell, my husband has come and I don't open the door. No, I'm chanting, I can't open the door, then that will spoil the relationship. Some things you'll have to attend to. At that time, you'll have to give attention to that. There is no doubt. Mother Yashoda, we see the pastime of the whole Damodar Leela, that she was absorbed churning butter. She wanted that I will make the best butter for Krishna so that Kana will not go and steal and the ladies, Brajvasis, will not come and complain to me. So she was fully absorbed in Kirtan of Krishna. With her hand, she was churning the butter. With her heart, she was chanting Krishna's glories. So she was fully absorbed in Kirtan and Krishna Smaran. And Krishna got up and Krishna demanded Mother Yashoda's attention. So Krishna comes when our heart is soft like butter, and Krishna comes to steal that heart. So Krishna came and he demanded his attention. I want milk. So Mother Yashoda was feeding milk, which is the highest spiritual activity in one sense. But at the same time, the pot where she had kept milk for boiling, the milk was overflowing. So the milk was overflowing, and that milk was also service to Krishna. So Mother Yashoda had to leave this service and attend to another service. So sometimes we'll have to decide that is it an important service? Like I'm a doctor and I have to keep my phone on. I cannot keep it shut, switched off. Maybe I can keep it in silent mode, and after half an hour, I can again see if there are any calls. Because as a doctor, I'll have to do that. I might decide to switch off my phone in the early morning hours till maybe my breakfast time. I can afford to do that, but a doctor cannot afford. So we'll have to evaluate these and then take a call. And especially whether I should restart my japa, that depends on one's individual resolve, and I leave it to that individual. So you'll have to see whether I have the strength to again restart my chanting from where I started and do the entire round. So that requires a lot of determination also. But many devotees in their chanting, I will come to this point, important principle, maybe in the future classes, that they rush through the beads. Although the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is 16 words, 32 syllables, while vibrating, the frequency is quite slow, but the movement of the hands is very fast. So instead of chanting Hare Krishna 108 times, you might end up chanting 90 times or 95 times. So this is one of the problems which we see even many devotees who are experienced for many years do commit this mistake. So to restart, it requires courage. And if we can do that, that is well and good. Another question by Vasant Naik Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, my question is where when we go to Mangalarti, after Mangalarti, if we are sitting for the chanting, and there is some seva coming from some senior devotee, in that case we have to attend the seva. So what is we have to do? We need to chant or we need to go for the seva?
Again, the principle remains the same as I mentioned. The principle remains the same, that what is important for Krishna service. Krishna service is to chant also, and that is also a service which has come. That is also for Krishna. So we'll have to see where I have to strike a balance. And based on that, we'll have to take a call. And maybe that service is so emergency and we have to attend it now at this time, because maybe the DT service is there where the Abhishek has to be done, because that is the morning time. So that we cannot avoid. So we'll have to attend because that is also service. And in that service attitude, we do our service very nicely. Then it will reflect in our Nam Seva also. Or is that an important service which need not, is it a not so important service which I can attend to later on? So this is where intelligence, buddhi. So the definition of buddhi in the Bhagavad Gita 10.4 is what is central and what is peripheral. We'll have to decide what is central and what is peripheral. So this is central, this is important, so I'll do this. This is peripheral, this can be taken care later on. So that requires vivek, and we'll have to judge according to that situation and take a call. Vikram Prabhuji. Yes, Vikram Prabhuji.
Dandut Pranam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, this is regarding the quantity of chanting. I would just want to know how to there is a reference in Kali Santarana Upanishad where there is a conversation between Narada and Brahma.
Yes.
Where Narada asks which mantra should be chanted in Kali Yuga and what is the beneficial of this. And while conversing with Brahma, he asks, there is a mantra.
Yes.
What are the rules? What are the rules to be observed when one utters these names? And the Brahma replies to Narada, there are no rules. Whoever repeats this name 3.5 crores in his lifetime, in a pure or an impure state, he is freed at once from all sins. He's once released from all things, and he merges with eternal bliss and immortality. So probably, how can we take this point and?
Okay, regarding the Kali Santarana Upanishads, where the discussion of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is there, I will be devoting an entire class on that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
I'll be devoting an entire class on that. In fact, that 3.5 crores of the holy names comes to somewhere roughly about, if we are chanting 16 rounds every day, it comes to roughly around 51 years. That means to attain perfection, it will take us 51 years of chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So 51 years, anyone chants 16 rounds, then definitely all these anarthas will be destroyed and one will realize the self and attain perfection and go back to the spiritual world. That is the discussion which is happening there. Now, again in chanting, there are levels, Namaprada, Namabhash, Shuddhanam. How many years we are going to spend chanting Namaprad stage? That will be the question again. So the more we cross the Namaprad stage, even in that taking of 3.5 crore holy names, we will be coming to Namabha stage where we will get taste for chanting and will increase the number of rounds. So if we increase the number of rounds, say 4 rounds, chanting with taste, then what happens that 51 years, I have calculated maybe 3 years less. It reduces. If you chant 4 rounds extra, it reduces to maybe around 3 years and 7 months, as far as I remember. So that means 48 years. So then if we increase it to 32 rounds, then it reduces to how much? 51 divided by 2 is around 25.5 years. So we can attain perfection. Srila Prabhupada also has spoken about that. I will be also playing the video where Srila Prabhupada has spoken about that if you all chant for 50 years, you will attain perfection. But the point here is how long you want to chant inattentively, how long you want to stay in Namaprad stage. We have to come to Namabhash and then Shuddhanam. And such Shuddhanam, even if you take once, you can get immediately experience the highest ecstasy and you can attain the goal very quickly. So ultimately, for us, coming to the stage of Shuddhanam is very, very important. In the Namaprad stage, another point, one's progress is very slow and one very rarely takes one Shuddhanam. That is the Kanishtadhikari. In Namabha stage, the apradhas are nullified and one's progress is a little faster and he is able to take Shuddhanam. In Shuddhanam stage or in Shuddhanam stage, one regularly takes pure holy names and he is able to give pure faith to others. He is like a Chintamani whom anyone comes in touch, they will become devotees. So that is Namaprad, Namabhash, Shuddhanam. And one progresses very quickly on the Shuddhanam stage. So that is how we have to understand. Reena Mataji has a question. Yes, Mataji.
हाँ हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम हरे कृष्ण
Yes, I'm able to hear.
हाँ प्रभु जी मुझे ये पूछना था जब हम 16 राउंड करते हैं मतलब फुल कंसंट्रेशन के साथ उसके बाद जब हम एक्स्ट्रा राउंड्स लेते हैं तो उसके साथ हम कभी कभी ऐसे रहता है कि हमको ये लेक्चर सुनना है वो मतलब कोई प्रभु जी का क्लास चल रहा है और हमारी माला हमको एक्स्ट्रा भी करना है तो हम मतलब जब 16 होने के बाद तो हम एट ए टाइम दोनों कर सकते हैं क्या आफ्टर 16 not before 16
all our discussion what was there today was that when you chant and not do any other activity, if you do your 16 rounds attentively and the remaining 4 rounds you are doing other activities along with chanting, this habit what you have in that 4 rounds, that habit will ultimately come in your 16 rounds. This is how the mind will play a trick on us. The mind, any activity you do, it becomes a habit and slowly that habit will form. You will start forming it in your 16 rounds and you will end up chanting 16 rounds inattentively only. You'll start doing that multitasking even in your 16 rounds. So even if you're doing 4 rounds, those 4 rounds also should be with full attention. Otherwise, better to do chanting off the beats. That means by doing kirtan or just hearing the mantra or just hearing lecture. Multitasking is never recommended. It is never recommended. Is it clear, Mataji?
हाँ हाँ मतलब हम लोग जब एक्स्ट्रा आफ्टर 32 राउंड्स के बाद भी हमको अभी 32 राउंड्स हो गए और भी एक्स्ट्रा करना है और कुछ क्लास भी है तो वो टाइम पे से सोच रही थी कि ये क्लास सुन के माला मतलब नहीं करना है इट्स ओके
नहीं कर सकते Mataji. You cannot do that. You cannot do. The mind can only do one activity at a time. If you are doing this kind of multitasking, you are cheating yourself. That's it.
ओके थैंक यू प्रभु जी दूसरा पूछना था ये नामाभास की स्टेज क्लियर कर सकते हैं थोड़ा
This is a very elaborate topic and I have discussed this chapter, The third chapter of Harinam Chintamani is about Namabhash. And you can refer that. Namabhas is a stage where the anarthas are cleared. And a dim abhas means a dim reflection of the holy name one is able to perceive. Just like on a cloudy day, the sun rays are fully not being experienced by us. But a dim reflection of the sun rays we are experiencing, and we are feeling light warmth. But when the clouds are removed, then the full sun rays or the sun heat we can experience. So Namabhas is a stage where only abhas, a dim reflection of the pure potency of the holy name, which is like the sun, is experienced. And this Namabhas chanting, what it does is, it destroys all the anarthas. The anarthas are compared to clouds. So the more attentively we chant, we cross from the Namaprad stage and come to the Namabhas stage. And Namabhas is a very, very elaborate topic. It's a very technical and philosophical topic, which requires an entire class to explain. But this is in essence Namabhas. And you can refer to the discussions which we have already had on Namabhas. I can send you those discussions which you can go
प्रभु
through.
जी हाँ, मुझे एक्चुअली आपके स्टार्टिंग के लेक्चर्स मेरे को मिले नहीं, आप बोले भेजता हूँ, लेकिन मैंने व्हाट्सएप नंबर दिया था उस दिन, आए नहीं, तो मेरे को स्टार्टिंग से आपके लेक्चर सुनना था, तो
I will send it. Okay?
हाँ, मैंने भेजा था नंबर। प्रभु जी कल का समराइज और आज का समराइज बता सकता, लेक्चर मैंने अटेंड नहीं हुआ था, अगर हो सके तो इट्स पॉसिबल।
Yesterday we did not have a class. So today what we have discussed is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur first of all explains how one should carefully chant by studying his mind, because the mind is Vishaya Asakta, and because he has Vishaya Asakti, his taste is towards sense objects, and that's why he remains indifferent to the holy name. The name, the chitta, the heart doesn't get absorbed in chanting because one has attraction for material sense objects. So the mind is in one direction, the holy name is in the other direction. Even if such a person chants 1 lakh names, not even a drop of taste he gets. And this kind of inattention is very, very difficult to overcome. And in this context, we discuss the principle of when you chant. That means you don't do anything else. So if we follow this principle, when you chant and not do anything else, then we can avoid this heart which is attracted to material things, to fix the heart in chanting. Sometimes, the mother might tell the child, put your heart into your study. That means put your attention into your study. So something like that. So, and then we should become spiritualist. And spiritualist means that our thoughts are absorbed in Krishna, Matchitta, Matkata, Prana. Then in the next theme, that is from 16 to 19, what we discussed today, is that what is the process of careful chanting? We should chant in the association of devotees, because in that association, our material desires subside or we become free from it, and chant in a secluded place. In this context, I discuss the concept of sacred space, a space within ourselves and an external space we have to create at our home, where we only get tuned into the chanting. And the best japa house or the sacred space is temple. Temple is completely transcendental, and this important concept of sacred space is what we discussed. So we'll stop here. Shri Harinam Chintamani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.